You were in another interview recently. I think you characterized some of the stuff Elon Musk has been saying about the right-wing government in Germany as insane.
Just the idea of him supporting particular, very right-wing parties. I'm surprised by that. I'm very careful to say Elon's super smart. His private sector work is fantastic. I'm surprised the number of things he states opinions on. I've always had friends around me who make sure I don't spout off on too many things all at the same time.
But secondly, it's kind of great to have you at such an important time for the country, because it seems like today's tech billionaires are shifting rightward and seem to have more power than even the VP, whose name I can't remember.
Well, there's no club of these people. We're, kind of individual. And, I'm very focused on global health and, hope the transition to this administration doesn't interrupt some incredible work that's been going on.
Well, they had some VIP seating at the inauguration, and we did notice you weren't there. What do you make of that visual?
They clearly wanted to fund the inauguration. They wanted it to be a great inauguration, just for the good of the country, no doubt.
Mr. Gates, you also called Elon Musk's political influence abroad, quote, insane, along with another word we can't repeat here. But what's your take on his political access and influence here in America right now?
Well, Elon, his private sector work, has been very innovative, really fantastic. A lot of private sector people, when they get into government, they don't take the time necessarily to see what the good work is or why it's structured the way it is. So I'm a little worried, particularly with this USAID stuff. My foundation partners with USAID on nutrition and getting vaccines out. And, there's incredible people. They're not actually worms that work there. So, hopefully we'll get some of that work back in shape. In fact, if we don't, you could have literally millions of deaths. So, with aid, people think, wow, how much do we give to these countries? As you said, it's less than 1%. People think it's 5% and it should be 2%, but it's actually under 1%.
Wow, and still saving lives. Well, your Gates Foundation is the biggest funder of vaccines in the world. I think a lot of people don't recognize that. And it was key to developing the COVID vaccine. That has made you, unfortunately, a target of all kinds of baseless conspiracies, including from RFK Jr., who apparently does have a worm in his brain. And he now claims he is not anti-vax. Do you believe him?
Well, we'll do our best to work with him. Under his management is going to be the FDA, which is a fantastic regulator, passing judgment on a lot of the new innovations we're funding. NIH does fantastic research. And so those have been partners of our foundation. And, I hope the great scientists there get the support they deserve.
Well, let's start with Elon Musk. He's called USAID a criminal organization. He called it evil. He talked about it's a radical left political psyop. To you, what is the importance of USAID and the U.S. giving aid to people in need around the world?
Well, the USAID plays a super important role in dispensing our aid budget, which is less than 1% of the government budget. Usually it's pretty obscure. So maybe this is a chance to talk about, okay, is some of that work we'd like to change? But overall, it's work that saves millions of lives and, helps strengthen relationships for the United States. It's strong.
You think there's a strategic value to it as well?
Absolutely. If you go around Africa and you ask, who really helped them out, who helped them deal with the HIV crisis, and has maintained that commitment, they're uniquely thankful to the United States.
Well, my two priorities
in talking to President Trump were the global health issues, particularly HIV and polio. The voters have a lot to be proud of. We've saved tens of millions of lives. The number of children who die at the turn of the century is over 10 million a year, now down below 5 million. And things like HIV medicines, malaria bed nets are responsible for that, and vaccines. So I was encouraging him to drive more innovation in those spaces. We're still missing some vaccines, and I felt we had a very good conversation.